Hello, everyone. We are so happy to see you again in our channel. Welcome back to the Top Voices channel and our community talk series. My name is Sofia, and our guest today is Yuliia Krupenko. We are so happy to see you again with us. She's fractional CMO at still small travel startup. And topic for today is localization, how to make your startup feel local anywhere. And yes, I think we can start. There are a lot of people already here. And Yulia, please, the stage is yours.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sophia. Hey everyone, I'm Yuliia, and today we are talking about one thing every founder and marketer secretly wishes was easier: um, launching new markets without burning your entire budget. So localization is one of the simplest growth levers that almost no one uses properly, and we are going to fix that today. So here's the roadmap for today. So first, we'll discuss why localization drives growth in general. Then the difference between translation and real localization. We'll break down a simple trust framework. We'll talk about the 6 things you must adapt, how to do it with a tiny team, and we'll end with one really good example. So 20 minutes and practical and zero theory fluff for today. So here's a quick intro about me, so you know why I'm obsessed with this topic. So I've spent 14 years scaling tech brands across the UK, Europe, the US, and a little bit with the LATAM. Um, I worked at BlaBlaCar, at Waggel, and now I'm in travel startup where global expansion is literally my job and localization is literally my job. So I've seen launches go brilliantly and I've seen launches fall apart because brands sounded a bit foreign, I'd say. So everything I share here is really live experience and lived experience. So it's not just a marketing theory. So let's start with the core truth. And the core truth of localization is that people don't really trust foreign. So they trust familiar. So each market has its own definition of normal. And if your product doesn't feel normal, users won't basically convert, no matter how good the product is. And that's why localization isn't a language problem. It's usually a trust problem. So why localization matters? Because it makes users trust you faster. So that's the core, that's number one reason we have to localize our products. So faster trust, higher conversion, lower customer acquisition cost. Um, then when you're competing with strong local players, you need every advantage you can get. And good localization removes basically friction at every step, whether it's discovery, sign up, or payment or support. Localization really helps with that. And there is a big difference actually between translation and localization. So here's the quick reality check. Translation is everything about accuracy, while localization is everything about trust. So you can translate every word perfectly and still sound like a visitor in your own product and really not familiar and not local to your users. So real localization makes people feel, oh, this product was built for someone like me. And that's the moment when conversion usually jumps up. And there is a really nice local trust frameworks. So usually trust is built on 3 things. First is familiarity. So does this look and does it sound normal here? The second one is relevance. So does it speak to a pain point the way locals talk about it? So locals is the core word here. And the third one is proof. So has someone like me already used it? So if you nail these three things in this framework, you can enter almost every market without a huge team and without spending too much time on localization. So there is a nice checklist. It's not really big. I wish every founder had on their wall. There are 6 layers: messaging, proof, pricing, UX norms, support tone, and channels. So messaging is about tweaking the value proposition. Proof, it's about adding local reviews or local partners or local testimonials. When we are discussing pricing, it's keeping the price, of course, but changing the way we are framing it. So changing the story. So UX norm is about tiny little details that really matter, like form length or available payment methods, which are really different country to country. Then support tone. Support tone is extremely underrated. We'll talk about them later. And channels. So every country has its own media diet, I'd say, and channels which are more popular than others. So we should consider that as well. So use this framework and start with these 6 layers without changing the entire product. So focus just on these 6 layers. So let's discuss them one by one really quickly. So first, proof. So nothing really builds trust faster than proof that it feels local. So I suggest adding one testimonial from a local user, which actually beats maybe 10 generic ones from different markets, which would sound really foreign to local users. Then a screenshot in the local language. It usually beats the global slogan. Then a local partner logo. It again beats the global one. And human trust, what looks and sounds like home, is core, is important here. And it's actually that simple. The second one, pricing. So prices obviously we keep the same, but we change here the way we are talking about pricing. So for example, UK buyers don't like hidden fees. Well, no one does. But in the UK, this topic is really significant. Germans love reliability. Americans would want flexibility and possibility to upgrade potentially. If we are talking about Southern Europe, they care about the monthly cost. So if you change the phrasing, you change the perceived value, even if prices are basically the same everywhere. So the same product, the same price, but there is a big impact on conversion. The third one is UX expectations. So everything about the user experience is really behavioral and cultural. So long forms are fine in Germany, for example, and they are really kind of conversion killers in the UK. Payment methods change everything. So, for example, if we add Klarna in Germany, the conversion will become really higher because they trust Klarna a lot. So local trust badges really matter. Even CTA wording matter. So some markets want urgency in the tone. Other markets would hate it. And these tiny details add up to a huge impact actually here. Then support tone is actually one of the biggest trust signals. So for example, in the UK, people would expect calm politeness in everything, in all the communication you have on the website, in the online chat, in your CRM campaigns. In the US, people would expect upbeat positivity. In France, they would expect formality. And for example, in Central Europe, they would expect a direct tone and really simple and practical answers. So, in my experience, many startup launches fail because the brand's tone simply fails and simply uh, doesn't feel local, basically. And the last one here in this framework is channels. So please don't copy paste your home market media plan because in every country, the channel mix is completely different. So, for example, in the UK, people love TikTok, Meta, and Reddit. Um, in France, um, so YouTube is popular. In Germany, SEO probably would work better and potentially some partnerships or collaborations. In Spain, people love Instagram. Um, on In the CE region, is really performance heavy. So each market has its own, I'd say, content diet. So consider this and um, just feed it the right thing. So how to localize with a small team? So we launched this startup. Obviously, the team is small. Everyone is doing everything. Everyone is wearing different hats. That's completely normal for the startups world. And the secret here is that you don't really need a local office or you don't need 12 country managers. You just need what we call in the startup world MLX. So it's minimum local experience. So you don't really need a big local team. So you just need 6 things. So a local message, local testimonial, local FAQs, probably local CTA phrasing, adding local payment methods, pricing phrasing, and that's basically it. So if you do these 6 things, users feel like the product belongs in their market, and everything else you'll be doing, it will go much, much easier. So there is a good example. So we all know this Calm application is the app for meditation and sleep. And I think this is one of the best examples of how they localize their product entering new markets. So when they expanded to Japan, they didn't rebuild the whole product, right? So they adapted a few things. So basically, these 6 things we've just discussed. So the tone of voice, visuals, narrators, proof, a few visuals, and they kept everything else as it was in their home market. So in the result, they felt made in Japan, and users didn't see it as a global brand. Of course, they knew the app is international. It's available across many markets. Their narrators speak different languages, but they saw their brand. And as a result, the conversion knew Calm was perceived really well. And Japan is currently one of the top markets for the app. So the formula. So the formula is pretty simple. It has 4 steps: translate, adapt, localize, and win trust. So when we translate the product and everything that goes with it, it makes the product understandable. When we then adapt it to local market, it makes our product relevant. Then localization makes a product familiar, so people start trusting it. And when people trust us, it helps us grow and convert better. So this is it for today. Happy to dig into your questions, and if you have anything specific you're struggling with, I'll be happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much for such interesting webinar because relocation, I think, is a very interesting topic, not only for people but companies as well. So
Yeah,
a lot of useful and interesting information. So we can move to the Q&A session. Um, if you have any questions, please drop them to the chat box, and I think Yulia will be happy to answer it. So I think
sure.
we should wait some couple of questions. So feel free to drop them. If there is no question yet, uh, may I ask one question from you?
Of course.
Yes. When should we introduce local payment options? What do you think about it?
Yeah, so basically, it depends on, of course, on the monetization strategy of any startup. But I would say generally, it's as soon as you see the strong intent. So, for example, you've introduced the product to the market and you see the landing page views, you see add to cart if you're selling something, you see sign-ups increase, but for example you see weak final conversion. So usually this gap means like, I want this, I want to buy this, but I
Mhm.
don't trust the payment method, probably because it's too global or too international, and here people use absolutely different payment methods. So as soon as you, according to my experience, as soon as we added some local options, local cards, local payment providers, but usually it really impacts the conversion. Usually conversion jumps, so people start to trust, and this trust is really important. Otherwise people will just bounce back and won't be back. It's really going to be hard to bring them back after they bounced.
Mhm. Thank you very much. I think I have one more question because
Perfect.
the topic is really very, very interesting and exciting in me. What's the best way to gather local insights quickly and cheaply? Because it's hard to relocate for some people and be involved in new area. So maybe you have any life hacks for this.
Yeah, of course. So usually, first thing marketers, like generally startup founders and teams, are doing is they try to run market research, and then they switch to interviewing local so-called power users. So like local creators, potential users, maybe influencers in this specific industry.
Mm-hmm.
Then it could be checking competitor reviews on that market. So uh, just searching through popular local platforms where people give feedback, starting from Google reviews or any other specific platforms. So here we would like to know everything from anyone possible, like to draw a picture. It could be local Reddit or Facebook or Facebook group. So whatever. So this is why I was highlighting channels so much, because on any in any country, channels are extremely different. It could be Instagram. So then we would go to Instagram and take a look on all the influencers, all the creators that are really popular, and we'll try to talk to them or just research everything they are talking about. So I'd say 80% of all the insights you'll get from there, not from, I don't know, paid consultants, which are sometimes also a good option. But generally, just research in social media and popular platforms will do the job.
Okay, thank you very much. We have one question in the comments. How do we test emotional triggers across cultures?
Yeah, this is a good question. So here I'd say it's all about experimenting. So it's not really possible to run like one campaign and to trigger the needed emotion from day one. It's all about running creative variants that emphasize different emotions. So depending on the product, it could be, I don't know, trust and safety, or simplicity, or some premium status, or speed, whatever people expect from this particular product. And then if we run, for example, 5, 10 user interviews, which we will have to do anyway at the beginning, so we'll be able to decode why a specific trigger wins. So basically, in the end, we'll have data, and then we'll have context from these user interviews, and we won't have any, guesswork or assumptions. So basically, this data and context will give us a lot of information that we can potentially use in marketing, communications, in product, in the future.
Yes, I would totally agree with you. Thank you. And we have one more question from Sebastian. Thank you for webinar. And how do we avoid over localizing and losing our global identity? Interesting question.
Yeah, this is a good one, and it is one of the biggest issues startups struggling with when they localize, having already established global brand. So I would say here the core is to keep the global brand, and the global brand is values, value proposition, mission, visual identity. So these things we would keep as they are, global, because we are building the global product, and people anyway have to understand that it's a global product. And then thinking about the localization, we'll localize only the so-called interface layer. So tone, examples, proof like testimonials, feedback, and payment methods. So I would think about that as same Apple product, like same iPhone, same iPad, same iMac, but
Mhm.
different App Store pages. They are localized. So we open our App Store pages, and they have the context we are expecting as from this particular country we live in. Um, yeah, so that's the main idea, like having the global brand, but trying to add this local layer to that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So I'm afraid of building business abroad. But thank you for insights. And we have one more question from Lizzie. Yulia, what's the fastest low budget test to check whether our messaging resonates locally?
Yeah, thanks so much, Lizzie. So here again, it's all about experimenting and testing. So I would run, so like thinking on about marketing, I would run maybe low budget paid ads, like, I don't know, depending on your budget, depending on the market, but I'd say generally it's like from $50 to $150 per campaign would be enough to see some results. On Meta, on TikTok, again, whatever channel you think it's the most popular on the market, I would test 3, 4 headlines. So I would run an A/B test campaign basically. These headlines I would like to test adapted for this particular market we are expanding to. And then I would look at CTR, I would look at time spent on the landing page. So if locals click and stay, I would assume that the messaging works well. And
Mhm.
then if the CTR tanks, So we are probably having a sort of a framing problem. So it's not a product problem, it's just a problem of how we are communicating about the product. So I would dig into trying to find the best message that would resonate with local people. Yeah,
Mhm.
so like again, it's all about experiment. It's not um, it's rarely possible to run one campaign that performs the best and the conversion skyrockets. It's all about testing.
Yeah, I think experimenting is perfect word for this.
Yeah,
Okay, I think we have covered everything for now. Thank you very much, Julia, for leading such a good webinar and really interesting. I think our audience take a lot of good insights and life hacks to local business in different countries. So feel free to connect with Julia on LinkedIn to keep talking and subscribe to our the Top Voices newsletter and follow us on LinkedIn. All links can be
thank you so
found
much.
in the description below. And thank you, Yulia, again. And we hope to see you next time.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Bye bye. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day too. Bye.